July 1943. The fields of Kursk. In less than 72 hours, over 300 Allied tanks would be reduced to burning scrap metal, their crews incinerated, vaporized, gone. The Killer, a machine so lethal, so perfectly engineered for destruction that Allied tank commanders would abandon their posts rather than face it. This is the story of the Panther, Germany's apex predator, the most brutal tank ever to prowl the battlefields of World War II. And this is how it hunted. Picture this. You're a Sherman tank commander, American steel, Allied pride. You've rolled through North Africa, Sicily, into the heart of Nazi Germany's Eastern Front. You feel invincible. Then you see it. Emerging through the smoke and dust, a silhouette, low, sleek, predatory. The Panther. Before you can radio for support, there's a flash. A crack that splits the air. Your Sherman's armor, designed to stop bullets, shells, small arms fire, might as well be tissue paper. The Panther's 75mm KWK 42 gun doesn't just penetrate armor, it obliterates it. At 1,000 meters, it punches through 140 millimeters of steel. The round enters your tank at supersonic speed. The interior becomes a pressure cooker of superheated metal fragments and explosive force. Death is instantaneous if you're lucky. One Panther. 5 Shermans destroyed in under 3 minutes. This wasn't combat. This was execution. Operation Citadel. The Battle of Kursk. July 1943. The largest tank battle in human history. Over 6,000 armored vehicles colliding in the Ukrainian steppe. Hitler's bet? The Panther. 200 of these mechanical beasts, freshly rolled off the production lines, thrown into the meat grinder. And they performed like demons. Soviet T-34s, the workhorses of the Red Army, battle-tested, reliable, were outmatched, outgunned, outclassed. Panthers engaged from distances the Soviets couldn't even dream of fighting back from. 1,500 meters. Picking off Soviet armor like a sniper picks off infantry. One Panther commanded by SS Oberscharführer Ernst Barkmann would go on to destroy over 80 Allied tanks throughout the war. 80. Crews of 4 or 5 men per tank. You're looking at over 300 soldiers eliminated by one machine, one crew. The math is staggering. The brutality, unmatched. In the first week of Kursk alone, Panthers accounted for over 250 confirmed Soviet tank kills. The Soviets threw waves of T-34s at German positions. The Panthers turned them into scrapyards. But here's what made the Panther truly terrifying. It wasn't just firepower. It was design. The Panther wasn't born from genius. It was born from fear. 1941. Germany invades the Soviet Union. They expect an easy victory. Instead, they meet the T-34. Fast. Sloped armor. Reliable. The T-34 embarrassed German armor. Panzer IIIs and IVs were obsolete overnight. Hitler demanded a response. German engineers delivered the Panther. Sloped frontal armor, 100 millimeters at 55 degrees. Incoming rounds didn't penetrate. They deflected, ricocheted, harmlessly bounced off like raindrops off stone. Allied tank crews reported rounds sliding off the Panther's glacis plate. Imagine firing your main gun and watching your shell spiral into the dirt. Useless. The Panther's mobility? Unreal. 700 horsepower Maybach engine pushing 45 tons of steel at 46 kilometers per hour cross-country. It could outrun, outflank, and outfight anything the Allies fielded. And that gun, that beautiful, terrible 75mm gun, muzzle velocity of 935 meters per second. For context, that's nearly 3 times the speed of sound. The kinetic energy alone was enough to blow turrets clean off enemy tanks. Allied intelligence called it the most formidable tank in the world. Allied tank crews called it death on tracks. June 1944, à D-Day, where the Allies storm Normandy. They bring thousands of tanks, Shermans, Cromwells, and Churchills. Steel superiority through sheer numbers. Then the Panthers arrive. The bocage country of Normandy, narrow roads, thick hedgerows, blind corners, became a killing field. Panthers positioned in ambush, waiting, patient. Predators in tall grass. Allied armor rolled forward, confident, unprepared. The Panthers opened fire. At Villers-Bocage, a single Tiger and Panther formation destroyed an entire British armored column in 15 minutes. Burning Cromwells lined the streets like torches. Crews burned alive inside their tanks, screaming for help that never came. At Operation Goodwood, British forces lost over 400 tanks in 3 days. Panthers accounted for a massive percentage of those kills. The British called it a death ride. One Panther crew claimed 11 kills in a single engagement. 11 families got telegrams that week. American tank crews developed a term, Panther fever, the psychological terror of knowing you might face one, knowing your armor was inadequate, knowing you'd likely die. Some crews refused to advance when Panthers were reported. Courts-martial couldn't cure fear, but the Panther had a fatal flaw, and it wasn't Allied firepower. It was Germany itself. Panthers were maintenance nightmares, complex, temperamental. They broke down constantly. Transmissions failed. Engines overheated. Final drives shattered under stress. For every Panther destroyed by enemy fire, 2 were abandoned due to mechanical failure. Germany couldn't produce them fast enough, couldn't supply them with fuel, couldn't train enough crews. By 1945, Panthers sat immobile, out of fuel, out of ammunition, out of time. The Allies didn't defeat the Panther through superior engineering. They defeated it through attrition, through logistics, through sheer grinding, overwhelming industrial might. But tank for tank, crew for crew, the Panther was unmatched. 6,000 Panthers were built during World War II. They destroyed tens of thousands of Allied vehicles, killed tens of thousands of Allied soldiers. Post-war analysis confirmed what Allied tank crews already knew. The Panther was the most effective medium tank of the entire war. Its design influenced every modern battle tank in existence today. The M1 Abrams, the Leopard 2, the T-90, all descendants of the Panther's revolutionary engineering. The Panther wasn't just a tank, it was a paradigm shift. A brutal, efficient, terrifying killing machine that changed armored warfare forever. And for the Allied tank crews who faced it in combat, it was their worst nightmare.